Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Let me put my phone over here. I need to tidy up here, but I got a lot done in the last few days. I'm gonna turn on the radio. I'm gonna turn on the radio. Awesome. Let me fix my remote there. Let me put the lights on. Why not? Let me put some lights on today. Put it right there like that. Cool. What else can I do here? I don't want to do a lot of tuning today. I just want to relax for a couple of hours. Just say hello to everybody. Uh, no music, no music, please. What you're bringing on board your vessel. Sophia Hall, 1010 winds on 92.3 FM in Huntington, Long Island. Don't even need this on. Storms that rolled through our area yesterday. Yeah, I don't need that on. Leave it off. Left their mark on New Jersey and North Plainfield. A woman who pulled over to ride out the storm was killed when a tree fell on her car. Two others were killed in Plainfield. The storms caused a number of power outages. Some of them have yet to be restored. So a state of emergency remains in effect in Plainfield as the city's pigtail cable. I'm going to put it over there. I got to clean that up over here. One of Governor Hochul's most trusted aides has resigned. I got to put the mat down too. Press secretary a week after being let me put the fan over here. Let me show you what I've done so far. After she was elevated governor in 2021, former governor Andrew resigned. Trying to get in the way of everything. Amid a sexual harassment scandal. And these screws right here for toxicity rather, and misconduct that multiple investigations found that the governor had fostered with his behavior. So let me go out here a little bit. I can show you what I've done so far. Of course, I got my L-shaped desk. So this is the corner now. So I got my Yaesu FT991A right here. Because that's Yaesu FRG 7700 receiver. I may bring down the Kenwood and put it on top of that. Kenwood R2000. Maybe. I just brought this down yesterday. This is the computer that I had upstairs with the Zygo G90. Or the Shegu G90, how some people pronounce it. So, of course, the computer's off right now. And, of course, I have the G90 over here with the power supply, excuse me. CW key right there, straight key, is connected to this Saigu, or Shegu, excuse me. It's set up for FT8 also, but I'm not going to be using it for FT8 anymore because I do have the 991A, which is so this one is, and this one is only 20 watts. So now I'm going to be using this one for practicing CW, mostly exclusively for that, practicing CW. It does have a CW decoder. I was trying it out last night. And of course, you got your, my FM station right here, my FM setup right here. Of course, now I got a new pigtail. You see the pigtail now? It's a clean wire that's going all the way up there now. I don't have that all those adapters. Now it's straight in there now, much better, cleaner looking. Okay. And then here's the same setup. Basically the same setup up here. I did tidy up the cables up there a little bit. Okay. Of course, we have a mess. But I got rid of the folding table. I put up the shelf. Let me just, I know it's a mess. I'm sorry, it's a mess. It's a mess, people. I know. So I got rid of the folding table that was here. I actually decided I'm going to use this spot to put my radios, especially the portables, the ones that I use the most. So I put up this shelf. Of course, it's very I use those long those cabinet screws, very strong screws. So this shelf can hold the weight. And it's pretty long shelf. It's all the way out there. So you see the big boom box out there. That's the heaviest one. Is the one out there, the Grande. So of course I'm gonna clean this up. I'm gonna organize it. I have all this junk here that was over there. Uh, so I need to organize this. This is gonna go back on the floor. These rubber mat things, they're gonna go back on the floor. Some of this stuff is gonna go. A couple of things are gonna go in the closet, things like that. I'm gonna clean it up. I'm gonna organize it. This was a lot of work doing all this. And then, of course, here is gonna be the standing desk. And that's in the other room. I'm not ready to bring it in yet because I do have a bed right here. Temporarily, I put the bed in there because it's been so hot. So I bring the bed in here. So because I'm working. I get you work a little sweat and then so and plus the other room now is a mess. So that's the progress right now. So I'm gonna organize this next few days. Not today. Today I'm gonna relax. Today I'm gonna enjoy my July 4th. I'm just taking a break. I'm gonna be up for a couple of hours or so, and then I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna cook. My wife is at work right now. She gets home in the evening. My son, he's upstairs playing. He just woke up. Of course, I put the other map that I had, the vinyl, whatever the plastic, I forgot what they call those maps, laminated. The laminated maps. I put that one up. View of the United States. Of course, I had these in the boiler room, so now I brought them over here. I kind of cleaned it up here a little bit, organized these are all my pigtails and all that. And then the other one is all my USB and stuff like that. So I kind of organized it a little bit. Eventually, I'm going to go through all these boxes, and some of them I'm not going to keep. Some of them I will keep because, of course, in case I ever want to resell a radio or whatever. So I also connected this little radio right here. It's not connected to the antenna right now because I haven't gone to the roof and connected that one. Plus, I'm probably going to use that little one right there. That little black knob that's there. I'm probably going to use that one temporarily with this one. So that one is also hooked up to the power supply with they call that I forgot what you call that. We used to call it a cigarette lighter. The car cigarette lighter, the one that you plug in. So that's the connection to that one, the power. And then of course the side was hooked up with the screw terminals right there. So I got two radios hooked up to this. So that little radio is a QYT KT8900D. And that one is a dual band quad standby. I believe it can go up to, they say 50 watts. I don't think it goes up to 50. I think it's more like 25 watts max. And that one also has a mod that you just press and hold the power and some other combination button. And you can put GMRS. I was thinking about using this one just for GMRS. So let me know what you think about that, because this one does 2 meters, 70 centimeter, my VHF UHF stuff. So, it doesn't make sense to have two radios with the same, two transceivers, the same thing. Plus, I got my handhelds. So I'm thinking about making that one exclusively a GMRS base unit, like a base unit. GMRS. And I can monitor GMRS on that one. And then, of course, up here, I got some space down there. I can put a couple of radios because I'm running out of room here. I was thinking about bringing down my scanner radio, one of my scanners or both of my scanners. I'm probably going to bring them all down because right now it's kind of looking bare up there. The shelving that was up there with all the radios is kind of looking empty now because I'm bringing everything down. Because I'm pretty much not going to do live streaming up there anymore. Because I do have the 55-inch here and all that. And I'm going to put I'm really populating this area. So let me put it like right there. Let me kind of put it like right there. Okay, guys, that glare from the sorry. So let me put it this way. Let me get a shot of this angle. Let me get a shot of that angle. So I pretty much got I'm pretty much covered on the amateur radio side, I have my HF, also VHF, UHF, of course, uh, also FT8, also C4 FM. Of course, up there I have a couple of up there above. I got a hot spot for the DMR. Daegu now is going to be a CW. I got to start practicing CW on it. And if I want to do anything, I don't know. I mean, why would I have this one here? This one actually is a better overall. Even if I want to go down to 20 watts, I can still use this one. It's just simple. I kind of really love this one a lot more in terms of you know. But one thing I did notice that when you set up CW with this one, it kind of messed around with my. And I know you can save them separately. I'm not into the whole saving all types of memory stuff. I was never into that in any radio. I just know what I want to listen to or know what I want to talk to. I'm not, I just don't. I have so many radios to do memory settings on everything. I just don't care for it. So I already have this set up nicely with FT8, but that is my number one mode for me. I know people say, "Well, I'm a single side bad guy." Well, good for you. Congratulations. You know, me, not so much. I don't really care for single side band. So I'm more of a digital guy, and I also now want to learn CW. I don't care about talking to people, strangers, especially just to get a 5.9. Be on a pile up and blah 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 blah. Always yelling out my name and call sign whatever, and then just to get a 5.9. It's kind of anybody can do that. I like the whole thing about FT8 in terms of like even when conditions are not the best, I can still be heard all around the world with a modest setup. That's to me that's more fascinating. And then it says a lot more about my antenna setup. How well it tunes and things like that. It's definitely more of a little bit of a science than just you know uh, getting a 5.9. I'm not bashing you guys for that, but I seen posting that people bash. I saw one on Facebook. Of course, I'm not signed into that group, but I just ran across it, and everybody was bashing FTA. It's like what you patronize. You don't know what you're talking about. You really don't know what you're talking about. Seriously. So that's my number one mode here, and then of course I can use this one also for single sideband and all that, or even this one if I want to just do 20 watts or whatever. Anything lower than 20 watts. But I really want to use this one for the CW. I want to have my own dedicated CW station. This one does have a decoder. It's not the best decoder, and I don't, I was just trying it out last night, but it is much, I have a dedicated CW, and I'm gonna take my time on that. I'm not gonna, probably take whatever time. I'm gonna learn that because of course as a technician, I can do some HF bands with CW. I can that you can do. Digital only 10 meters, but CW I can do. I believe there's a portion of 80 meters, uh, 40 meters, 40-meter band, uh, 20-meter band, and I believe is it is it what's the other band? I believe it's 21-meter band or the 17-meter band, but I can also do CW. So I can do HF on CW. So that's why of course, until I get the general. But you know what? I'm not gonna rush that either. Only because I have a lot of things to do here. I'm still in the process of moving everything out here. I got the corner desk now, or the L-shaped desk they call it. Uh, you know, I'm also the reason why, and I also got the second computer here
Not only, if I want to do a little, I want to say FT8 on it because I really don't want to do FT8 on this anymore. But I could test it. I really want to do the CW here, but also I want to use this computer for another reason. I will plan. I'm gonna plan to start streaming on two channels. Of course, this screen right here, this is the main screen right here. The main computer is gonna be for now, and then until I get my other computer behind me, that one will be Danny Shortwave and Radio DX. This one is just gonna be background, whatever, with the FTA. And this one might actually wind up as a second streaming computer. So this one right here is going to be, it's a Lenovo all-in-one computer. It's a very good computer. It's a few years old, but it's an i7, 16 gig of RAM, Windows 11, 256 gig NVMe SSD. Of course, it does have a DVD on the side. DVD, RAM, DVD burn, excuse me. But I can stream on this one on another channel because I do want to get the viewing hours up on another channel. So I may do two things. I may just be streaming. I'll be streaming. Excuse me, live streaming, not streaming. Live streaming on Danny Shortwave, this channel right here, Danny Shortwave with the DX. And in this computer, I'll have a webcam nearby. I'm gonna be streaming from either maybe on TikTok. I don't know yet because I'm kind of mixed feelings about TikTok right now. Um, I'm trying to see if there's a way, that right now I do have 21,000 uh, followers. I just hate that word followers. Let me turn on the fan for a minute. I'm sorry. If you hear noise, it's gonna be the fan. Let me lower this down a little bit. So, but I want to see if there's a viable option in terms of monetization. The problem with TikTok is crazy. TikTok, I've been flagged for. I got not copyright strike. I don't call it copyright strike. I got one for a violation strike, and it was over stupid. It wasn't even it was not a bad comment. It was just a comment on a video, you know. Uh, and I guess somebody reported me. The problem with TikTok is the reporting system on it is very what's the word? They react very quickly without really looking into the comment. They don't even read the comment. They'll just boom. You'll get a notice saying that you've been a violation of this of the terms of service or whatever, some stupid thing they call it. And it was a violation. So automatically I appeal it. I appeal it. Um 99% of the times I did win my appeal. Appeal was was received. The comment is restored, and they take away the violation. Only one time they stuck it to me, and they said, "No, this is a violation strike. Any more violation strike may result in your suspension or termination of your account." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" On TikTok for that. So that's why I'm kind of like not really gung ho about growing my channel on TikTok. And plus, we don't, like I said, there's so much uncertainty on TikTok. Now they're saying that there's a buyer on TikTok. They're actually going to buy TikTok, and it's not going to be banned in 3 more months or whatever. They keep pushing the goal line for that. It just so I'm probably going to use this computer to do a second live stream through another channel like Danny Finance. What I'll do is I'll just simulcast this live stream on Danny Finance or the Danny Show, one of those two, or even what's the other one? Any of the other channels that needs viewing hours, even though it's probably not going to be relative to the content on that channel, but uh, you know, and of course I'll see their chat here and I can answer their questions. Maybe I'll do that. But I'm probably gonna do it with Danny Finance first because that's the one that I want to get up to. That's the one that already has 1,000 subscribers. That's the one I need to get to 4,000 viewing hours, so that one can be monetized. And that's the one that I'm interested in the most in terms of putting out more content. That one I can do so many things on that channel. Also, retro gaming is okay, but the problem is I need to set up a spot for that. So I'm looking into that too. Probably gonna be on this side, the retro gaming. I'll probably be on this side, on this setup right here. I'll probably be on that side, the retro gaming. But I don't know. I would like to at some point. But right now, the immediate one is Danny Finance. I think that's the one that's going to be simulcast here. And that way, I can get the viewing hours. And once I get to about, and of course, that one I'm going to be uploading his content, because that one I've been doing live news on that one. And the reason why I do live news on that one because it does affect market. Like for example, the recent conflict that they had in Iran, Israel and Iran, right? That affects that can go on the news, live news or whatever, and that affects market. That affects oil price. That affects shipping, through the Suez Canal and all that, and the Strait of Hormuz. But that's why I put those live because it's relative to finance. Not in the in maybe not directly, but indirectly they do affect. Of course, anything that's uncertainty and whatever. Or maybe I'll just do live for now, and you know, and many channels do that anyway. Sometimes they'll talk, they'll do stuff. That's what I do here. I do stuff like that. I do it here too. I'll talk about stuff and post stuff that I was gonna do the Basil wedding. I was gonna go on live and just do Jeff Bezos' wedding, and then we look at all these people and just talk about it. But I was like, nah, I was so busy that was last weekend. I was so busy getting all this stuff ready, so that's why I didn't get to do it. But I thought about it, like the Super Bowl. You know how we do the Super Bowl? We just kick back and talk, and we look at the Earth Cam live streams and all that, and we see like that. Unfortunately, what happened in New Orleans, but that was way before the attack. Remember, that was way before that attack happened. After I was already off the air. But you remember doing a live stream when we look at the people there, and some people were like dancing in front of the camera and all that. You know, it can. One thing about these live streams, you cannot always just talk about radio all the time. Yeah, it's a radio related channel. Yeah, I get it, and it's a hobby that we all share. But you just come here and talk about radio, and it gets boring. Especially if your channel is particular to one particular band, then you're very. That's why you have to change it up. You have to diversify. Don't be afraid to talk about certain topics. I believe that. I know the channels that I follow and some live streams although I don't go much live streams anymore. I'm so focused on mine now. But the live streams that I've been to that I really enjoy are the ones that they talk about other things. You know, and there's a lot of amateur radio channels out there, and they're good, they're big, whatever, and they have their sponsors and blah blah blah, and they get very technical, blah blah blah. That's great. That's not for me. I won't be, I will not be a part of that audience. I try going to those channels and sit down and watch them, and literally it's boring. I'm gonna say it's boring. It's just boring. You gotta have a personality. If you don't have if you have no personality or you're not willing to engage with people, you're gonna be boring. That's it. And that goes for anything in life. You know, when you meet people out in the street or whatever, public, in school, whatever, and I'm not saying to be, and I'm an introvert, by the way. I'm just saying, but you gotta kind of, not small talk. Find something that you both can find something in common. Whether it's like in my case, I have a lot of hobbies. I have model railroad. I have all these things I love. I have transportation that I love. I love shipping. I love watching shipping. I love watching aviation. Of course, I love radios. I love space. I love computers and all that. And that's what I try to do here. You know. All right. Everything. Let me turn off the fan. My nose is itching. I'm sorry. Hello, Glenn Dance. I hope you're doing well, my friend. And happy 4th of July. Well, I'm just relaxing here for a couple hours before I go outside and start cleaning the backyard a little bit. And then getting ready for tonight. Tonight we're going to have some fireworks. Tonight we're going to have some fireworks. They're safe fireworks, by the way. They're not, illegal fireworks, anything like that. So don't worry, people. They're not illegal. These are safe fireworks. It's not the fireworks that are gonna blow off your fingers. Nothing like that. I don't. When I was young and growing up in the Bronx, we actually used to buy illegal fireworks. But I don't do that. I don't play that nonsense. And I don't do that. I don't know. Of course, when you're young and dumb, thank God I never blew off my hand. Or I never witnessed anybody blowing off their hand. But no, we have safe fireworks. My son is upstairs. He's playing. He's on the computer. My wife is at work. And in a few hours, I'm gonna start getting ready outside. Gonna clean up the backyard a little bit, get everything ready. I have a little area in the middle of the yard, so there's grass there and all that. I put a piece of it's a slab of concrete. It's like a big it's like a paver. I put it there, and I go through all the fireworks one by one. I put them there. I light them up. My son looks at them. My wife, they enjoy it, and you know. And of course, I have nearby. I have a water hose nearby in case I need to, But I never had an issue with that. So pretty cool. Plus tonight's gonna be beautiful. Tonight it's a beautiful day outside right now. It's 79 degrees and it's sunny. You can ask for more. You cannot ask for a more perfect day than today. 79 degrees Fahrenheit, sunny. It's gonna be nice and comfortable tonight. Probably gonna be in the low 70s. So very comfortable tonight. Hello, Blazer Bobcat, watching and listening from Albany, Georgia, United States of America. Amen, brother. Happy 4th of July. Yeah, God bless America, my brother. So anyway, let me show you. I got an email today, and I'm very stoked about it. Let me minimize this. Actually, I'm gonna put this above here. Let me just put this above right here, and I'll put that above there. So of course, I have a blog. Um, had it since I started this channel. Basically, I think the year after, or right around the time, 2016. And there's a website that ranks blogs called FeedSpot. So of course, I got an email from the founder of FeedSpot, and I'll show you my email. Let me see if I can. There you go. It says, yes, my name is Andrew Agawal. I butchered that name. With that person, congratulate you as your blog. Danny Shortwave Radio DX has been selected and by our panelists as one of the top 20 shortwave radio blogs on the web. And of course, I'll show you the ranking. This is the most comprehensive list of top 20 shortwave radio blogs on the internet. I'm honored that you have been a part of it, and they have invited me to link with their social media and all that. They created a badge for me. I have not looked into the badge yet. I'm going to display that on my blog. I will put that on my blog, the badge. And it's nice. It's nice to be recognized. So, of course, this is the... Oh, my God. Sorry. Let me go over here. So, this is the website right here. 20 best shortwave radio blogs and website in 2025. Of course, number one Number one blog, of course, we all know what that is this guy. The SWL or SWLing. I think that's the way you pronounce it. SWLing Posts. They've been around for a long time. Yeah, 2008. They're to me that was the number one. That is the number one blog that I've been actually also I've been mentioned there a few times. No, I've been mentioned there once. The other one that I've been mentioned a couple of times is the RTL SDR blog, but that's an RTL SDR blog. That's not a shortwave blog. That's an RTL SDR blog. I've been mentioned there. A few of my videos have been featured there. So, he's number one. Shortwave DX blog is number two. And I did hear that I know of this one a little bit. Shortwave Central is the one that I know also. That is Gail. Gail. So that is a pretty big blog. That's she has written books and all that. So that one is pretty pretty big blog. And then is the Shortwave Radio Audio Archive or the Shortwave Archive. That's the domain name. Podcast and so on. And that one is you can see the followers. There's 7,000 Twitter followers or ex followers and so on. Then is yours truly number 5. I'm in the top 5. Yours truly. Facebook followers 888. Actually, it's about 885 or something, give or take. Twitter is 5,000, so that hasn't been updated. Instagram 9. Yeah, I was around the right number. Instagram. So I am number 5. So that was a nice honor. So I'm in the top 20, and I'm actually in the top 5. So there you go. And then I'll round out the rest. Of course, Hackaday, that's one I kind of heard about. Actually, that is the biggest one out of all in terms of followers. 200,000 Facebook followers. X or Twitter is 265,000. That one, when I remember hearing about that one, I believe that one at one time was number 2. So I kind of knocked that one off. Of course, Radio World. That's another one that's I heard a little here and there. Engineering. I don't know what this one is. I don't remember. Nexus Broadcasting Blog. I'm not familiar with this one. This one is familiar to me because I have the picture. And then, of course, around that's the top 10. Of course, number 11 is the guy that I really don't care for. He's a jerk off. And, whatever. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say it. I know people are not gonna like it. Uh, I'll just put it this way. He's one of those people that when I used to go into the live stream, he used to always give me the cold shoulder and all that. And he's a real pompous fucking asshole and a jerk off. And of course, I went to his blog and I saw the blog and nothing special about it. It's just a bunch of radio reviews, over the top radio reviews of cheap portables. Nothing compelling about it. And of course, he has another blog that he's big Biden supporter and all that, lefty. But that's probably why he doesn't like me, because I love Trump. I'm a Trump supporter, so that's why I don't go. Actually, he's another reason why I don't go to the live stream anymore. There you go. I want you to see it for yourself and jerk off. Yeah, you know. I'm telling you, I know all of them, the ones that are there. And when I used to go to that live stream, no matter how friendly I try to be with them, they always gave me the cold shoulder and whatever. Listen, either you love me or you hate me. That's it. I always been that way. By the way, I always been that way in life. I'm the one that type of people, either you really like me or you love me, or you can't stand me. That's it. And it's unfortunate, but some people, that's and that goes by being a Sigma, introverted and a Sigma male. That's me. I'm a Sigma male. If you don't know what that is, you can go look it up. What sigma is? That means I don't want to be. I'm not an alpha. I don't want to be an alpha. Alpha is too much over the top. I don't seek attention. But I'm not a beta. You understand? So and that's why I rub some people. I just rub the wrong way. That's it. Some people are just not gonna like me for whatever reason, and that's fine. You know what? That's your problem, not mine. I learned that growing up. That and that's what I try to teach my son. You're gonna have people out there that are not gonna like you for whatever reason, or it's jealousy or political thing, or they want you to follow them, and you have your own mind, and they don't like people that have their own mind. Some people are like that. So it is what it is. Nuts and Bolts number 12. I heard of that one. I heard of London Shortwave. I guess he dropped off. So London, I heard of London Shortwave, and then of course these other ones here. I don't know who this one is. As a for preppers, and then rounding off is this one right here. WB4IUY random block. And then there's some other ones. But anyway, so jerk off is number 11, and I'm number 5. So there you go. How you like those fucking apples? There you go. See what I'm saying? You know what? And he's in the chat. He's always sucking up to the, the, the other jerk off. The one that hates Trump supporters. And by the way, speaking of Canada, oh, did I just say Canada? Happy Canada Day. Happy Canada Day. I know you just had your day, Canada Day. Happy Canada Day for you Canadians out there. And again, happy 4th of July for the rest of us here in the United States. So there you go. So it's nice to be recognized as you know, you know. So all you lemmings out there that think that he's the top dog, you know what? And keep following that. Remember, I built this for nothing. I built this for nothing. 8 years later. By the way, you go to ChatGPT and put the top shortwave channel on YouTube. Of course, he's number 1. Number 2 is Oxford. Guess it's number 3. This guy right here, ChatGPT, and they rank me number 3 in all of YouTube, all of YouTube, all of YouTube. Number 3. Okay, and then the other jerk off in South Africa is number 4 with his bought subs. All right, because he bought his subs. I know that for a fact that he bought his subs. All right, he bought his subs and he bought his views. There you go. It's pretty sad when you got to buy your subs and views. And that's pretty sad indeed. So that's the other one. So ChatGPT number 3. And FeedSpot number 5. So there you go. So I'm not no small potatoes, people. Don't think and by the way, I'm not going anywhere. He's only going to get better. I'm not a one-trick pony, and as you can see, I cover a lot of things. I'm well diverse. I'm well diverse in a lot of subjects. Okay. And by the way, I welcome everybody. I welcome Democrats. I welcome Republicans. I welcome Independents. I welcome anybody. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. I don't alienate my friends. You don't do that. I'm sorry. I got relatives that can't stand the president that I voted for. And that's their problem, not mine. You see what I'm saying? They're not going to stop being my brother and sister. And so on. You know, that's a problem with the left. The left. If you don't, if the left, if they don't agree with you, or if you don't agree with them, they cancel you out. You know. Let me tell you something. And I wanted to collaborate with. I'll be honest with you. I wanted to collaborate with a few of them. With the one that I just mentioned here, and the other one. I wanted to collaborate with him. YouTube collaboration is a good thing. But unfortunately, he didn't want to collaborate with me. I guess he didn't want to, he was just trying to blow smoke up my ass. You know, especially when he was saying like, "Oh yeah, one day I'm gonna stop by your live stream and I'm gonna." I was like, "Yeah, great. Go ahead. You stop by my live stream. Now that would be nice if you see my live stream." Never came to my live stream, not once. I've been out for almost 3 years now. I'm doing lives. Not once here, but anybody here can attest to that. I don't think you ever seen him in my live stream. He never showed up on my live stream. You know, jealousy is an ugly trait. It really is. There is an ugly trait. You know, and I give him credit. I give him credit. I give him credit. All the credit in the world. Because of him, he inspired me to do my channel. He did inspire me to do my channel. But it's a shame that this is the, and you know what? Going into this, I'm gonna tell every YouTuber out there that they're thinking about starting a channel, be prepared for that. The people that are your friends now might not be your friends in the future because people change. People change their perception of you or their whatever, or and some of it is either jealousy or whatever. And that's a big one. Big one is jealousy. Jealousy is a big one. You know, when I started my channel, because today we're just talking about whatever. I'm just chewing the fat chewing. So you can chime in, talk about whatever you want to talk about. And I'll talk about this. Why not? When I started my channel, I had a plan. I was not the average YouTuber that started a channel. Oh, I'm gonna make a channel for fun. Yeah, it is fun to do my channel. And people that come in here and they say, "Oh, I'm gonna do my channel just for fun." You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. Most people that come on YouTube is because they want to post videos and they want to see their video. People take interest in it and watch it. And let me tell you something, it doesn't take much for one video to go viral. The lowest common denominator video can go viral. Doesn't mean that you're very good. It means that you're very good at, putting viral videos. But in terms of, I'm talking about knowledge and learning from the person and, whatever, doesn't mean that you're good at that. That means that, I have people say, anybody can be up here for 3 hours and talk about nothing. You know what? That's kind of true in a way. But in a way, a lot of people, you'd be surprised how many people have YouTube channels out there and been around longer than me, been around for a long time. And they probably haven't done any live streaming. And if they did, maybe one or two live stream or whatever for 1 hour, and then they got the hell out of there. I done live streams for 12 hours, 13 hours plus, and all that stuff. Without, with the same energy. And keep up with all the chat. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't have 100, 300 people watching. And by the way, that also can be bought. Don't think for a minute that you have 200 people watching. Sometimes you'd be surprised. I get those emails all the time, and there's people that there's website you can go to, and because believe me, I've been pointed to them. that, for, nothing. Say if you, you know, say you have, 40,000 subscribers, right? And for a mere $10, you can have 100 people watching your channel, okay? For 10 or 20 bucks, you got 100 people watching your channel. So people can buy that stuff. People can buy anything. Watchers, likes, views, watch hours, and all that stuff people can buy. Believe me, I seen it. I don't hold no secrets about it. When people ask me why you live stream so much, I say it's to get the viewing hours up because that is the it's not a secret. Some YouTubers out there will make that a big secret. Oh, if you sign up for my course, I'll tell you how to get watch hours. No, I give they know who they are out there. I given them advice about it. If you want to be monetized, you need to do this and this and this. That's it. And of course, one channel has done it. He's done it. He's been monetized now, and and I'm glad. But it's not a secret. I know other channels like to make that a secret. It's no secret. If you want to be monetized here, you have to live stream. You have to live stream, or you better have a lot of views on longer videos. That's the only formula that's gonna get you viewing hours. Or like some people do, buy them. I don't do that, but a lot of people, some people do that. You can spot them. You know. So when I started my channel, I had a plan. I wanted my channel to grow organically through not only YouTube, but I have other social media. And many people tell me, "Oh, well, why do you have Facebook?" I'm not on Facebook no more. That's that's fine. I'm not a big fan of Facebook, but if you want to succeed, you got to be on every platform. At least have your link in there somewhere where people can find you there. You know, even the other guy was very hesitant about Facebook. They kept telling him, "Why'd you do a Facebook group?" And finally, he did a Facebook group, and now his Facebook group is pretty big. I'll give him credit. Credit's due. Yeah, a lot of people on Facebook now. He got, I think, 4,000 or something now, whatever the number is, and that's the way to go. That's why I tell people if you're gonna do a Facebook, if you're gonna do a YouTube channel, and you're really serious about it, you need to do other social media, like have a blog. That's what I have. I have a blog. Because what I do is every time I post a video here, every time I post a video on this channel, I post that video on the blog. Because you got to, remember before I started this channel, I was a webmaster for 20 years. For at least 20 years, I've been running my own websites. So a lot of people, the way people find you is search. Is search. Think about that, people. How people find you is because of search. It's not word of mouth. It's not, that. Yeah, that's secondary or whatever. Search. And how the search works, who dominates the search? There's two big, I don't count Yahoo. Yahoo is not even a search anymore. Yahoo is not really a search anymore. The two biggest ones is Google. Well, there's three now. The two big ones is Google and Bing. And then you have DuckDuckGo. Well, that's kind of a distant third. DuckDuckGo, right? Or DuckGo. I don't know. Anyway, you know which one, the DuckDuckGo, whatever. So if you're not on those searches, you're like almost invisible. You're already invisible. So the more social media you're on, you get ranked higher because you're on different websites. If you're on Facebook, you get a little bit, you move up a little bit more. You get more notice. Your Facebook link will be there. Not only your YouTube link on the search, your Facebook page can go to that. So sometimes they might not find you through YouTube. They might find you through the Facebook and see your video on Facebook, and then they work their way into your channel. You have to create all these avenues for them to come in to your channel, right? Of course, not only Facebook, but back then it was called Twitter. Twitter, yeah, Twitter was another one. Boom, you go to Twitter, you post. I posted, say, I put the video link on Twitter, and I get people on Twitter going into my channel, and some of them sub, some of them don't, whatever, or they watch the video, whatever. That's another avenue. Well, now that's called X. Okay, so there you go. Another one is Instagram. So Instagram, you can't put you can't put links on Instagram like video links, but you can upload the video there or a portion of the video, and also you can put the link to your channel on the Instagram. You can put, so I got a link to my channel there. So some people actually come through Instagram. Not many, but a few. Also, Reddit. You post on Reddit. Reddit, there's a lot of people on Reddit. So I have a couple of my own groups on Reddit. I post through Reddit. I get people through Reddit. You see what I'm saying? You have to. So when I started this channel, I had a plan. I had a plan. I had a plan because I've done this before. Not with YouTube, but I've done this with websites. And I have other platforms. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Blue Sky. Although some of the stuff that I post here, when I post on Blue Sky. For example, Anthony Cumia show, I when I post on Blue Sky because that's a different different demographic mostly. So I would have post on Blue Sky, for that. Everything else I post on Blue Sky, but not Anthony Cumia, not anything that's that they won't, what I mean? You gotta have common sense too. So there's some people that don't. Pinterest. I know people say that's just pins. Every video that I post here, I pin it on Pinterest. I have I have about 1,100 people on Pinterest following me. Pinterest. I get some views from Pinterest. I look at my numbers. I get actually be surprised. Pinterest is actually a top 10. Pinterest. People see my video on Pinterest and they go through Pinterest. So when I started this channel, I had a plan. So that's why I'm not surprised I'm not surprised that I got not surprised. I'm not surprised that I'm number 5. I'm not, because I work for that. You understand? I bust my ass for that. I put in the work. Okay? I put in the work. I didn't ride behind anybody else and so on. And if you look at the ones that are ahead of me, these are pretty big. This is big. He's big. He's big. This one is pretty big. This one is big. And I'm here. So you know what? That's a testament of all the hard work that I've done for this channel. I put in the work in this channel. Okay? I want people to know that. So all you people out there that are starting a channel, you know what? Don't worry about what other people think of you. And I give people advice here all the time. I'm one of those YouTubers that I help people out. Just like Tasso. Tasso, he started a channel, and I know he was probably at first he was hesitant to do one, but now I asked him if he enjoys doing his channel when he comes on. I know right now he's busy with schoolwork and all that, but you know what? It's nice to have a channel, and it's like an extension of yourself. And you know what? If it wasn't for this channel, I would have never met online a lot of fine people like Glenn and Tasso and Blazer Bobcat and James Farley and all those people. And I also met some other people that right now, unfortunately, um, they just don't like me. They liked me at one time. Now they don't like me because I guess they don't agree with my politics. You know, and it's sad that you let politics get in the way of that bullshit. You know, and let me say, I genuinely like the guy. I genuinely like the guy. I really do, because I can relate to him. Because me and him have a lot more in common than we don't have in common. We have a lot in common. And if he was my neighbor, we would have straightened that out. If he was my neighbor, we would have straightened that out. We would have had a talk. We would have had a couple of beers, and I would have told him, "Yo, just because you don't like my president, you know, why don't you tone it down with calling the voters these names? You know, like I would have talked to him. I would have sat down and actually talked to the guy. You see what I'm saying? I'm not, I'm that type of guy. You gotta have a beer with me. We could sit down. We could iron out. We could settle world peace. You see what I'm saying? We could settle world peace over a few beers. You know? You think I take that personal that people don't like Trump? I don't take that shit personal. That's your problem. That's your problem. He's gonna sign that big beautiful bill today, and I'm gonna watch it. You know? Believe what you want to believe about. Oh, they're gonna put 17 million people. They're gonna pay. People are gonna die. You know, that's bullshit. That's a fucking media fucking playing games with your fucking head. You know, it made it clear already. It's for able body. You know, we had this before, by the way. Clinton had something called workfare. Remember that when people had to go to work? When people had to do 20 hours a week, either job searching, 20 hours a week, either job searching, or you do a part-time job, 20 hours a week. You know, in other words, you work for the city, I don't know, cleaning the fucking parks or whatever your skill set is. Or you do some filing in some office. Or you go to school. Go to school to learn a skill. That's what you're supposed to. That's the way to go. Not sit on your ass and have fucking bonbons all day and live off the government dole. Now, what's going to be excluded? Of course, people with disabilities, of course, they're excluded. Or people that have a dependent that have to stay at home and take care of the child. You know what I'm saying? And things like that. But of course, the media won't say that. They just fucking put fear in your. They try to put fear in you. Oh, 17 million people are gonna die because of this bill. That's bullshit. You know, because we're gonna have more money for border security. We're gonna finish that fucking war once and for all. More money for the military. Things like that. No tax on tips. How about that? All you service workers out there that rely on those tips, now you can deduct that. When you do your income tax, now you can deduct no tax on tips. No tax on Social Security. All right? They don't talk about that. You know how many senior citizens and disabled people are collecting Social Security? And now they don't even have to pay tax on it. Now they can deduct that. That's more money in your pocket now. That's more money in your pocket. Already. That's going to affect everybody. More money in your pocket right off the bat. All you people out there collecting Social Security. No taxes on Social Security. That's a big one. You want another one? No taxes. No federal income tax on overtime. Bammo. What are we talking about here, people? You know? So you work overtime. I used to be the same way. I don't want to do overtime. That's more taxes I got to pay. Nope, not no more. Not no more. Now you do all the overtime you want. Federal income tax, that's going to be all deducted. What are you talking about? Well, of course, the media won't say that shit. They're talking about 17 million people are going to die because of this bill. Get the fuck out of here. I can't wait till he signed that shit. I got beers fucking in the fridge, nice and cold. I'm going to celebrate July 4th, but I'm going to celebrate that bill. You better believe I'm going to celebrate the hell out of that bill. That's right. Tasso, greetings and happy 4th of July. Same thing to you, my from the state of New Jersey. Oh, you're in New Jersey. Okay. Popping in and say hello, and I hope you are enjoying your day. Yeah, it's going to be a beautiful day. I'm just streaming here for a couple of hours, and I'm going to go outside, clean the yard a little bit. I'm going to clean the grill. I got the chicken all marinated. I got chicken thighs all marinated, everything. I'm going to grill some chicken. I got burgers. I got hot dogs. I'm going to throw some soda in the freezer right here. I got my beer. Actually, I'm going to go make another trip, buy more beer so I don't be short. I got the fireworks. I'm going to bring them down tonight. They're in the second floor. Of course, I was showing earlier I'm almost completed here with the shack. I got a mess here though, but I got the Zygo G90 right there. I got the other computer right there. Of course, I put the shelf up now. I got all these radios here. I got to clean this up. It's all messy because I had to get rid of. I've been moving a lot of stuff. So my extension, and then of course over here is going to be the standing desk here, the anchor desk. So, of course I got I got a badge for being in the top 20 on FeedSpot. I got a badge. I'm gonna put on my blog. So for all the haters out there, especially that let me see, what's that? Where he's at? Where he's at? Oh, that's where he's at. Okay, here you go. Oh, who's that? That's where you at, right, brother? That's what I'm saying. Don't be hating on people, bro. You know what I say about haters? Just like Eric Adams says, haters are gonna be someday your waiters. Remember that, folks. Haters are someday gonna be your waiters. And by the way, hating gives you wrinkles. Why would you want to get more wrinkles? Hating and jealousy is gonna give you more wrinkles because you're always gonna have that frown. You're always gonna have that frown when you see me. You know? You know? Come on, bro. You gotta enjoy life, man. You gotta enjoy life, Enjoy life. Gotta enjoy life, bro. I like the lanyard. It's a nice lanyard. This rate is pretty good on Weatherband.
Welcome.
Let's see.
8:07 p.m. For Saturday, with transit low. Surf height around 2 feet. Sunrise, 5:31 a.m. Sunset, 8:29 p.m. For Sunday,
Yeah, turn up, boy. It lights up too.
highs around 80. Southwest winds around 15 miles per hour. For Monday, partly sunny. A slight chance of showers and thunderstorms. Highs in the low 80s. South winds around 2 miles per hour. And for Tuesday, partly sunny. A chance of showers and thunderstorms.
There you go, man. So don't be hating on me, folks. You channels out there that hate me, don't be hating on me. I'm your friend, bro. I'm your friend. So you want to be my friend, you're welcome. You're welcome to come here. You know? Man, I put in the work, bro. You know what I'm saying? I put in the work. I put in the work. Okay? I put in the work and I get recognized. All right? So when you people mumble about yourself, oh, who's a great channel, and you don't mention me, it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to mention me. The internet knows. ChatGPT knows. Go on ChatGPT and type in top shortwave YouTube channel, and you know you got number one. He's number one. He deserves it. He's number one. Oxford, he's number two. He deserves it. He's a great guy. Clint, he's a great guy. And guess who's number three? This guy's number three. Ain't nobody else number three but this guy. All right, you know what? And I'll take that. I'll take that for every fucking view that I got that I earned. I didn't buy views. For every fucking subscriber that I fucking earned, I didn't buy subs. Okay, I'll take that shit any day of the week. Because I earned that fucking merit. Remember that, folks. I earned that fucking merit. I'm going to wear that shit like a motherfucking wrestling belt. Be like, whoa! I'm going to wear that shit like a motherfucking belt. I'm going to come down the corridor with my fucking theme music. Oh, whoa! That's what I'm going to do. If I say, styling, riding, low profiling. And be like, what is this guy's name? Ric Flair. The Ric Flair with the slap. Remember he used to slap people in the chest? Woo! That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna slap. Boom! Slap the sweat out of the people's chest. Come on, bro. I earned this shit, bro. I built this shit. I ain't got coattail for nobody. Remember that. People out there hating and shit. You know, you got too much time in the world to be hating on people. Yeah, I see the thumb down I get. I get thumb down like crazy. I get thumb down. Anthony Kumi, I got thumb down a bunch of videos. Come on, bro. Come on. Hating only gives you wrinkles, bro. Yeah. Glenn Dessler. You certainly helped me. Coax types, MLA30, my disco. Yeah, I try, man. I try to help people out. You know, I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert on everything. I don't claim to be. If you read the description of my channel, it says it right there. My journey from coming back to the hobby. This channel is about my journey coming back into this hobby. When I started this channel, I only had one radio. And it was that radio right there. And that was the radio that started my channel. My wife bought me that radio as a birthday present. And I decided to start a channel with that radio. All right? Grundig Satellite 750. Okay? I started with that channel. And I had a plan. I said, I'm gonna start with that and let us see. And then I remember I got a few subs. I was very excited. And then somebody gave me a shout out. And then I got to 100 subs. When you get 100 subs, you can change your URL. That was pretty cool. And then you know what? When I got to 500, I was like, yeah, it's nice. I was like, man, I can get 1,000. I remember my nephews came over here and they saw my little setup and they were like, you on YouTube? Yeah, people be surprised. People think that everybody on YouTube is young. Everybody has this thing that they think that if I walk, nobody in this block knows I'm on YouTube. Nobody. Because I don't tell people I'm on YouTube. I don't tell people I'm on YouTube. I'm not that type of person. I don't tell you I'm on YouTube. I don't do that. Even though I have 100,000 subs, if I ever have 100,000 subs, I would not tell people, yo, you know I'm on YouTube, right? No, I would never do that. That's not who I am. That's not who I am. That's not how I roll. I would not pull out that. Oh, you know I'm on YouTube, right? No, I care about that. But people be surprised. People be surprised. You have a channel? Because they see me walking down the street, I don't talk to nobody. I say, my neighbors say hello to me. I say hello to them, and I just keep walking, or whatever. And sometimes they'll do a little small talk for a couple of minutes, and I'm not into small talk either. My neighbor across the street, he's the one I probably talk to the most, and I never told him to this day that I have a YouTube channel, but he doesn't ask. He probably see me making a video outside here and there. He probably doesn't, but he never asked me. But I wouldn't, Hey, listen, and that whole stereotype about YouTubers of young and millennial, well, that's bullshit. There's a lot of YouTubers out there that are, you know, 60, 70, 80, uh, you know, with a big following. Some of them are probably making more money than what they receive from the government in terms of retirement and stuff like that. You know, I joke about that with my wife. I say, "Oh, hopefully in a few years, this will be my, when I get my Social Security retirement money and whatever other thing that I have, this will be my supplemental income." You never know; it could be my supplemental income. So that stereotype about, you know. So my nephews, when they saw, they were like, at that time I was 1,000 subscribers. They're like, "Wow, you got 1,000 subs!" And we talking, 16 years old. They're twins, so they're both 16 years old. So they're like, "Wow!" I was like their hero. You got 1,000 subs, like that's the. So they actually knew somebody that had 1,000 subs on YouTube, and I would happen to be me. I was like, "Oh." And then I had the other channel by then. I had the retro gaming channel. And then, of course, later on, they found that I had the finance channel with the crypto. They were like, "Oh, you talk about crypto?" And I'm like, "Oh my god!" So I surprised them. I was like, they were like, "Wow, you have all these channels." And then a friend of mine also, but of course, in his case, a quick story about that one. That's the same guy that years ago I helped him out. He lost a lot of weight because of me. Me and him used to do a lot of walking. He was like morbidly obese. He was really big. He was like, I changed his life. You know, I done that too. I changed people's life. The way he was headed. He was just working in a store, clothing shop. He was overweight. He had low self esteem. He had no athletic prowess whatsoever. Then he ran into me, and I used to go walking. And one day I kind of dared him. I said, "No, I'm gonna take a walk to the Empire State Building." And we lived in the Bronx. So I said, "You see that building all the way down there? It was in the skyline, the New York City skyline. It's all the way down there. It's very tiny." I said, "I'm gonna walk to the Empire State Building today." He said, "I'll see you later." I went like this to him. "I'll see you later." And he said, "You want me to go with you?" I said, "I don't know if you can keep up." That's what I told him. Because I walk a lot. I used to walk a lot. Well, now I need to do that again. But I used to walk a lot. So he was like, I kind of like, I guess I lit up a spark in him. I'm used to walking by myself. I have a radio. I always walked around with a radio. I'm a very solitude person. I walk by myself. I don't need to walk around people. I don't need to walk with people. Actually, they slow me down. I don't know if that makes sense. When you walk with people, sometimes they slow you down. Because I could walk fast. So he was like, "Oh, you're actually going to walk down?" I said, "Yeah, I've done that. I've done that many times, which I have. I have done that many times. I even jogged it. I jogged it to Manhattan. I jogged 10 miles. I ran, and so at that time, it was, I think it was a spring day. It was warm. And I was like, "No, I'm going to walk. I'm going to walk to Manhattan today. I'm going to walk down to the Empire State Building today." and then I'll get on the subway and come back. I was like, can I go? He was like, he wanted to go. He was like, can I go? Now, well, if you can keep up, that's what I told him. So we started walking. So he walked it. He took our time. I walked a little bit here and there. He took a little. We went to some bodega, bought some water, drink water, kept walking. And when we got to the Empire State Building, I saw the look on his face. He he did something that he never thought he would do, and that was because of me. And when you do that to somebody, you changing their life. The man, he walked a few blocks here and there. He probably walked a mile or two. But this walk, this is like 10 miles, almost 10 miles. About I'm gonna say, yeah, about 10 miles. This is a 10-mile walk. So we just kept talking. We talked about a lot of things. We talked about a lot of things about funny things that happened. We kept talking, and that would get his mind off counting numbers. Because one thing I tell people, when you're gonna go running or you're gonna go jogging, don't say I'm gonna jog this X amount. Just go. Just go until you feel okay. You know what? I had enough. Don't put an artificial barrier. Like today, I'm gonna run 2 miles. No. Sometimes you might have a good day. You might run 10 miles that day. I've done that many times. Where I say, oh, I'm gonna run a mile today or 2 miles, whatever. And I never run a mile. Always run more than 1 mile. But let's say, oh, today I'm gonna just do 2 miles or 3 miles, and you wind up doing 5 miles. That's why I never put a barrier. So when I told him we're gonna go to the Empire State, and I told him, if you can keep up with me, we go. Because if he didn't keep up with me, I was gonna keep walking ahead of him, and I would have waited for him down there for a couple of hours. But he kept up with me. He kept up with me. And when we went down there, we went to Subway, a sandwich place, Subway. And they said, oh, well, there you go. And said, oh, you walked all these miles. Now we're gonna sit on a Subway. We're gonna have a nice sandwich, and then we're gonna get on a Subway and come home. And he felt good. He was like, wow. And I swear to God, within a couple of days, blowing up my phone. Danny, you want to go walking? Danny, you want to go walking? And literally, because I go walk. I always went walking by myself. You know, I always went walking by myself. Let me turn on the AC. Oh, sorry. I got to turn on the AC. It's a little warm in here. Stuffy. What the hell? Yeah. So, all right. Sorry. Go back to that. And we always went walking and all that. Like I saw the confidence grow with him. Confidence grew with him. And then he was always the type of person. Oh, I want to be a cop. Nah, he wants to be a cop. Almost only wants to be a cop because his father was an officer in the Dominican Republic. He was a police officer in the Dominican Republic. So me as a goof, I took the NYPD test as a goof. I applied for it. I aced it. They called me within a few months. So when I applied online for it, he's sitting there watching me apply online. He's like, and I told him, I said, you already applied for Nassau County, and you're still waiting on that one. Won't you apply for this one? Meanwhile, you never know, you might get called here, and you New York City Police Department. At least you already had that foot in the door. You see, I had to guide him. Some people needed to be pushed. So I was always that guy that pushed people. So what happened? And me and him were like, I thought he was like my bestest buddy. He even told me, oh, you're gonna be my best man when I get married, you know. And the minute he got accepted to the police, he started going to the academy. He forgot all about me. My phone went dead. My phone went dead a couple of times. I reached out to him and I said, "Hey, what's up? What you doing, bro?" Like, of course, he had a gym membership. I will go with him. I will go as a guest. And then my phone stopped ringing. Of course, he then graduated to the academy. They didn't even invite me. He didn't even invite me to his own graduation. I would have went to his graduation. He invited his by then his estranged girlfriend, the one that dumped him. He invited the same girlfriend that dumped him for another man, and he couldn't invite me. And that happens. That happens. A lot of people will use you when you're a giving person that gives your time. People will use you. My wife, my wife noticed that, and I told my wife. We talked about it. Said, yeah. He said, Danny, there's people out there that do that. They once you outlive your usefulness, um, he goes on to the next person. Now, when I ran into him, the guy was making minimum wage, low paying job, retail business. He was just folding shirts and at a woman's clothing shop, because it was a women's clothing shop that he used to work at. And you know, by the time he went to the academy, he had lost, I think, 75 pounds. He lost about 75 pounds. Uh, I even taught him how to climb over a gate, chain link fence, but he never even climbed a fence in his life. Me as a kid, I used to always climb on fire escapes and all that stuff. I can do pull-ups, I can do all that. I have up. I never had trouble climbing up stuff like trees and poles and all that. Well, he never did all that, so I transformed the guy. I changed his life. Of course, he became a police officer with all the overtime. He was probably making over 100,000 a year. Quickly forget about you. They quickly forget about who got him there. You know. To this day, of course and I told him about her. I told him she's no good for you. He didn't listen to me. Uh, you know, they got married. He didn't even invite me. By the way, that whole thing about being the best man, he got married to that woman. He didn't even invite me to the wedding. So I wasn't even the best man. He didn't even invite me to the ceremony at all. Nothing. He went ahead and got married, and then one day I was on the Facebook. He I guess he wanted to follow me on Facebook, make friends. I accepted him, and then I saw the profile that he was married to the same woman I told him not to marry. Of course, they got divorced. They have a son, and then he remarried someone else, and he has two more kids with her, and he posts pictures of all the places he traveled around the world. He's traveled around the world. He shows pictures of. He posts all that on Facebook. He's been to Cuba. He even went down to Cuba. He's been to Cuba. You know, and I don't say that. I don't say that to brag, but I'm that type of person. I try to help everybody. I really try to help everybody. You know, I always did that. I always gave people. I wish I had people that they were like, I'm eating. I buy Chinese food, and I see them looking at me like they're looking at my plate too much, and I go, "Would you like some of this food?" And they're like, "Yeah, yeah, okay. Well, I guess you're hungry." I give them some of my food. I said, "Okay, here, here's. I have 5 chicken wings here. I'll give you two and a half. I'll give you half of my meal, or I'll give you 3 chicken wings, whatever. And here's some fried rice or whatever. Half of my soda, whatever. I never had a problem sharing things like that. And all those people that I did that with, uh, as soon as they found a good job, and and they used to come to my house and sleep on my bed. and I would sleep on the mattress I would sleep on another mattress because they were out late. We was out late. We went to a whatever party, and he didn't want to go home by himself. So I said, no, you can stay over here. Just tell your mom that you're gonna stay here with me. And the mom usually, a lot of the moms usually liked me. They were like, oh, he's a nice guy. He's going to school. He's doing all the. So they would trust me. And I didn't want him to go home like that, like he was hammered, drunk, whatever. So I would tell him, no, sleep it off right here, bro. Sleep right here. I'm okay. Because I can't sleep. I can't. I have trouble sleeping, especially when other people are in the. So I used to stay up and I'm on the computer doing my assignment or whatever, and he would be over there knocked out, snoring his ass off. And I was always that type of guy. I always looked out for. And then in the morning I would say, oh yeah, okay. You want breakfast, son? You want me to make you want to eat some? And all these people today, none of them reached out to me. Never thanked me. I only had one person thank me for changing his life. Only one guy. And he put it on Facebook. He sent me a DM. He said, Danny, I want to thank you for, if it wasn't for you, I would have never been. And this guy was like the top salesman. He was a very shy kid and all that. And they used to pick on him. And I told him, you can't let people pick on you. You need to fight back. Otherwise, people are going to walk all over you. And I would get on his case a little bit when we would play sports. Like, toughen up. Like when we play football and I see they would try to, I would tell them, don't let them get to your head, bro. And then I went to school and I went to college and all that. And then he was going to college. He kept asking me about college and he thought about quitting a few times. I said, no, don't quit. Just keep going. All these people out here that are hanging in the street, that should be motivation for you. And so when you're going to school in the middle of the summer while all these people are hanging out here, think about where they're going to be 5 years from now. That's what I would tell them. Think about, I hit the stand. That's what I would tell them. I will always tell them that. Think about where they're going to be 10 years from now. By then you have your degree. By then you have a different path of, of jobs, of money, of success, of, a lot of doors are going to open for you. And where they're going to be 10 years from now. And then he finally, it took a little longer. It took them, instead of doing it, I think it took about 6 years to get the bachelor's degree because he was doing part-time. He was working. He was also doing bartending work and stuff like that. He was struggling. And now he's the top salesperson here in Westchester County in Acura Westchester. He's on TV commercials now. The guy's on TV commercials here in Westchester County selling cars. He's a top salesperson. He's won awards. So I changed his life. That's what he told me. He sent me a message. He said, Danny, oh my God, thank you I remember what you said about, don't let nobody get in your, don't let nobody, don't let nobody get in your way. Don't listen to the naysayers. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep going to school, even when it's like when everybody's out there, in the hot summer day, you think everybody's having fun. Just keep going to school. That's what I did. I went to summer school and all that. And I got my degree. I got my degree faster because I went to summer school. And he thanked me. He thanked me for that. And I was like, I said, no, you. I told him, no, I'm glad you're doing well. I'm glad you're doing well. I'm glad you didn't fall into that trap with them, with all those other people, And some of them, by the way, some of them wind up going to prison. Some of them are now no longer here through whatever, overdose or whatever happened to them, or prison. And a few of them got deported. They're in prison and they got deported. They're not even here in this country. They got deported. And he's and he told me, he said, oh, one day, I said, yeah, one day I want to fix up the place a little bit. I'll probably invite him here one day, backyard, and we'll have a cookout and all that. You know, I'm not a bad guy, people. I mean, I try. I'll give the shirt. I'll give the shirt off my back. You know. Yeah. All right. Enough talking. Anyway, thank you, Feed Spot, for the badge, and shout out for the top 5 on Feed Spot as a shortwave blog. I really appreciate that honor, and I'm definitely gonna put the badge on my blog now. Top blog. And I'm in good company. Shortwave Central is not a small blog. She has written books. And she's ranked number 3. And I'm ranked number 5. And SWL Elling or SWLING, that is the number 1 shortwave blog in all of the internet. When you put up shortwave radio, they're number 1 in the search. In terms of blogs and all that, they're number 1. So the fact that I'm ranked top 5 says a lot about all the work I put into this channel. All right, and some of my videos I've been recognized in other blogs like RTL SDR blog. I have about 3-4 videos that were on that channel. I've been featured there. So there's people that watch my channel. Whether some people don't believe that, there's actual people that watch my channel. I don't buy my views. I don't buy my subs. My numbers are real. My numbers are real. I work hard for this shit. All right? So recognize that. And I'm glad they recognize that. I really appreciate that. All right. Yeah, Tasso, you too. Enjoy your cookout. We're also doing a barbecue at my brother's house. Oh, cool. Yeah. Enjoy your barbecue. Right now, let me look at the local time here. It's 1:38. I've been out for 1 hour and 32 minutes. Man, my leg is falling asleep now. Wow. I've been standing up for the last hour right now. Yeah. Hello, James Farley. Happy 4th of July. I hope you're doing well. Let me sit down for a minute. I need some water, actually. I'm going to be off another little bit, and then I'm going to start cleaning up a little bit in the yard, and then the food is already, and then I'm going to start grilling. Actually, I'm going to clean up a little bit myself. I want to change. Put a t-shirt on and so on. Yeah, so anyway, that's what I'm going to do. That's my plans. I'm going to be simulcasting on a second channel to get the viewing hours. I'll probably be Danny Finance. And then, of course, I got the Zygo right there on my CW. I was setting it up yesterday. I was playing around with it yesterday. Actually, let me put this over here. I don't want it to fall on the floor. And of course, like I said, I know James is here now, so I put that shelf up. I got rid of the folding table. I got to organize all of this. I want to put them all nice and organized. And then over here is going to go the standing desk. And I got to clear all this. There's a lot of stuff in here that I had to clear up. And then I think for the Sunday night thing, Yeah, there's a lot of work, man. I did a lot of work bringing the stuff up and from down upstairs and setting it up. Of course, I got this one here. I the first time I powered it up yesterday. Let me turn it on. I'll turn it on for a minute. And then this one. So that's eventually I'm gonna mod this one for GMRS. GMRS. I'm gonna mod that one. There's a mod that you gotta do for that one because of course I got my Yaesu for my VHF UHF. I'm gonna be using the Yaesu, and then this one is gonna be just to monitor GMRS. And let me turn it off. Of course, I got it hooked up there, and then of course the side goes right here. Yeah, I know it's a mess. So I gotta organize everything. The handhelds. I'm probably gonna let me get this out the way. The handhelds. I'm probably gonna have them all here. All the handhelds. Well, it doesn't look nice. It's a mess. It's a mess. Anyway, I put the map up there, so it's a long piece. It goes all the way over there. It's pretty long. I gotta clean all this out here, and it's a mess. I'm gonna have them all stacked up nicely. All my portables here. These are the ones. All these portables are the ones that I used in the past few weeks. Actually, the past few months. Anthony Cumia, right? Anthony Cumia. All these radios I had to bring them down here for Anthony Cumia. All right, Anthony Cumia show. That one, of course, was a live stream in the boiler room. Of course, the other ones down there, the Grande boombox, the other boombox, all of these Anthony Cumia. So, and then of course over here, this is last Sunday's radio. Of course, you heard these radios at Anthony Cumia also. So I don't know. Maybe this one will be on Sunday. I don't know. Maybe I'll put this one on Sunday. Yeah, I have the mat also. I got a mat for the floor. So, but yeah, I know this floor. Eventually, this floor is gonna get patched up. But the reason why I want to have everything down here because I want to clear out the other room, and then I'm gonna rip up that floor out, the wood floor. That floor is also rotted. Yeah, this floor you can't use plastic wheels. It'll tear it up. It's a concrete floor. It's the original concrete slab. Foundation floor, excuse me. So, and all my extensions are going to be above. They're not going to be on the floor in case I do get a little bit of water in the. If I do get a little bit of water in the basement, it's not going to affect anything. I'm putting everything up high, above the floor. Like for example, that power strip right there, you see, is above the floor. So if I do get any water, it won't matter. It'll be safe. So that's okay. It's not. Well, I mean, it was a lot of work. So yeah, good job on that. And there was a lot of work bringing everything in. But today I'm gonna relax, and then tomorrow my wife is gonna be off tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm gonna do the cabinets tomorrow for her, and then Sunday. So Sunday night I'll do the I don't know what radio yet for Sunday night, and then after that I'll finish up over here. So hopefully next weekend I'll do a live facing the new format. Of course, I don't know if I want to see myself anymore. Uh, not for nothing, but I think people. I notice that some my number sometimes goes up and down. I think sometimes uh, I don't care. It's not about me, but I notice that the numbers are better when I don't show my face all the time. I don't have a face. I have a face for radio. So all these live streams that I've been used to not. I mean, a good thing about not showing my face is I don't have to. I don't have to shave more often. Uh, I have to wear something more. Right now I have this raggedy T-shirt on. Got a hole in it. Of course, when I face the camera, I can't look like that. I have to look a little more cleaner. So I don't know how that's gonna work out if the standing desk. So maybe what I'll do is sometimes I'll come on and show my face. Sometimes I won't show my face. I don't want every live stream to be like showing my face. I'm okay with that either way. But I think I noticed the numbers gotten better. I don't know. I think people like to click. I think what it is when you shoot when they see a live stream and they see a radio on the thumbnail, people tend to click on that more than somebody's face. I think that makes sense. You know, when you click on a thumbnail and you see a radio on a thumbnail as opposed to seeing my face in front of the camera, I think people are gonna click on the thumbnail with the radio more, and then my face. So I didn't really think about that through. In other words, I don't even know if I want to put the standing desk on the other side. I don't know yet if I want to do that now because people want to see this. You know, I know that worked for some other channels where they just show their face all the time and they just talk, 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 and but I rather show the equipment. I rather show more the equipment, the radio, and so on. I rather just show things like that. Of course, I'm streaming. I'm streaming wirelessly though. That's my Wi-Fi adapter. I've been streaming wireless for weeks, actually for months now. Yeah. Good. Let me see. James Farley. Good thing you put those. Yeah, these are the rollerblade type wheels. Yeah. Right now, my son's chair upstairs is falling apart. The wheels. But what happened with those wheels is they get full of hair. The plastic, when they get full of hair, and then because of course, a lot of the hair is my wife's hair. My wife has long hair. And her hair is all, her hair usually all over the place. So it winds up on the wheels. So I already told them, I said, listen, those wheels, and they're going to have to get replaced with the rollerblade wheels. So, for those of you that don't know, when you buy those office chairs, they usually come with a cheap plastic double wheels, and they're very noisy. Of course, here for this floor down here, those wheels are useless. They don't last long. They're going to wear out very quickly. So for down here, I had to get the replacement wheels. So they have some that are rollerblade wheels. They're bigger wheels. They of course they have that they're like rubber, see-through rubber, and those are the wheels that I have on this chair. And this chair right now, when I roll, you don't hear it. It's very quiet. It's actually good for this floor. So, and they're like $20 for a set of 5. You get a set of 5 for $20. Like 20, I think it came out total was $24 and change. And they're worth it because these wheels will last a long time. The other thing about these wheels is that they make your chair a little taller, maybe like an inch or so taller, just a little taller because they're bigger. There's just one big rubber wheel, as opposed to those little plastic wheels. It's one big rubber wheel. It's a rollerblade wheel. They're from rollerblades. And you know those wheels last a long time. So I should have made a video on that, but it's too much of a mess here. When I buy the second set of wheels for my son, I'll do the video on that one, on Danny's product review. So I can make a video on that. I recommend those wheels, especially for, you know, us slightly overweight fellows. Those plastic wheels, they don't hold. They wear out very quickly and they will break. They will break at some point. The rollerblade wheels are much more heavy duty. They have ball bearing and they're rubber wheels. They can handle, and they're a lot more quieter, especially if you have neighbors below. I can tell you that the plastic wheels upstairs, my son, when he rolls on the floor, when he rolls up there, I can hear it down here. So the rubber wheels are a lot more quieter. So if you have neighbors upstairs and they have office chair and you hear that rolling all the time and it's really annoying, uh, suggest they get rubber wheels. You know, let me check out this badge that they want me to put on the blog. Let me go over here for a minute. Let me get this. Let me see. Email with me. So you created a badge for your. Oh, okay. So that's their badge. They created this badge for my website. Oh, okay. Pretty cool. Uh, and those wheels you get with the office chair, and they slide. Well, yeah, they roll. They're pretty. Yeah, they will. Like when I put the. I have to bring it in here. I had the mat. It's like a hard plastic mat. Yeah, they roll. These roll. These will roll. On this floor, not so much because this floor is concrete and it's not exactly smooth. And there's little areas where there's gouges. But if I put the mat here, the plastic mat, no, these swivel very well. No, this because these are ball bearing. That ball bearing. If I go to I'll show you the ones. Let me go to Amazon. I'll show you the ones that I got. Let me just. I don't want to type it when I'm. So you see them for yourself. So you see that ball bearing. See, these are the ones that I got. You see the ball bearing? No, they swivel, but they're very they're just cheap. They're plastic. and they were falling apart. The ones I had here were falling apart. Literally, the wheels popping out. Yeah, so I got these. These are much better. Mm-hmm. See, those are the ones I had, those cheap ones. You take those out, you put those. See, that's a chair that I got. I got a similar chair like that. Well, yeah, those wheels are a lot better. The original ones are the double. The original ones are the double little plastic, and they have that little cover on it. But they're cheap. Mine were falling apart. Double wheel here, double wheel. One wheel will pop out, then the next day this wheel will pop out, and it was full of hair and all that. And I try to clean them all up, and I said, you know what, I need a replacement. When I found these, I said these are way better. I mean, they're not even close. Much better. You see? Supports up to 880 pounds. Solid state with solid bearing. So much quieter. Much better. So let me save that image. Save it. Yeah. So that's a badge. Okay, so you can display it on your post it on your social media. Anyway, so thank you, Feed Spot, for that honor. I'm gonna put that on my blog. I'm gonna put that image on my blog. Yeah, they are fancy, but they're much better. It's so much. They're so much better. Much better. Much more comfortable. Yeah. And I just updated my blog too. I added a couple of radios in there. I also eventually want to archive every radio and have his own page. No, it's hooked. I have two of them. The other one is hooked up. It's right here. That's the that MFJ is outside by the garage. That's the one that's been there for years now. The one on the roof, I took it down. That's the one you see on the floor over here sometimes. That one I'm gonna put in the garage. I'm gonna put it away. I'm not gonna use that one because I have this one in the on the garage roof. Of course, that's the end fed. So one is going to the Zygool G90, and this one is going to the FT 991A. So this is the end fed. All right. So right now, the MFJ is connected to the. I got the MFJ connected to the Grundig right now, but I might put a switch at some point. But I don't. Okay. Because I'm only gonna use the MFJ for this and the SDR most likely. So, and then of course the MLA30 is right there. Right now, I have three of them, but that one is the one that was hooked up with the copper loop. So I already have the wire here for the copper loop. The half-inch wrench, I don't know. That's in the boiler room. Yeah, that's in the boiler room. So, I'm gonna leave the one in the one that's in the garage roof. I'm gonna leave that 1886. So I'm gonna leave that one there. The other one I'm just gonna put in the garage because I'm gonna start putting stuff in the garage. Because I want to clear out the basement. I just want to have the shack and then my bed, and that's it. Everything else is gonna go in the garage. The server rack, I'm gonna move it to the other side of the room, but I'll do that on, I'm gonna move the server rack over, but I'll wait till I finish over here first. Then I'll do the server rack. So, I'm using the wrong mouse. Let me see. No, I don't want that because I already have that. I have two chest freezers. I don't want a mini fridge because I'm trying to cut down on utilities too. Utility cost is ridiculous. You know. Another thing is I will enjoy the summer, and then I think in the fall I'm gonna probably. I haven't been looking the last couple of months because I want to finish these projects over the summer. But at some point, I do. Part of me wants to go back in the for obvious reasons. Um, I don't know. I think when I went in, I think when I went to we went to when we went to Times Square, 3 weeks about it's almost 3 weeks now. Last month, part of me kind of missed the city in terms of commuting. So I'm gonna start looking for a job in the city. I will prefer to work in the evening because there's less people in the evening. But you know what? At some point, and plus, I want to be home during the day for my son. Although my son is going into the fifth grade now, he's going to go on to the fifth grade. Um, my brother can look after him when I'm not here. But it's kind of long story when it comes to that. So because let's be honest. I'm not gonna make a living off of YouTube. I already accepted that a long time ago. Even if I were to get like 20, 30,000, 40,000, even 100,000 subscribers, I don't think right now I'm gonna make a living on YouTube. Um, it's just because I see other people struggle. I see Yeah, I know. He's going on to the 5th grade now. You know, he's a right now he's a preteen. It's just time is flying by. When I started this channel, he was a baby. He basically was a toddler. He was a toddler. When I started this channel, he was around 2 years old, about to turn 2. He was not even 2 years old. He was like he was a few months away from being 2. He was in diapers. I remember I have a video that I was showing my long wire setup and the 102-inch CB whip, and he was in diapers, and he's shaking my little apple tree. At that time, the apple tree was small, and he was shaking it. And I had a little makeshift cemetery for Halloween outside, a little decoration cemetery. I look at that video and I see him. He was a baby. He was a baby, a little baby. Yeah, time flies. You know, so I'll be honest. I don't see YouTube as making a living, especially on a niche channel like this one. Maybe if Danny Finance takes off, and that's why I'm gonna simulcast on both. That's why I got the second screen there too. Uh, Not only for FTA, maybe not only for to do some other stuff, but I want to have while I'm doing this live stream, this one is going to be streaming also. This computer, because it's a computer. It's an all-in-one computer. It's gonna have his webcam, and I'm gonna be streaming on Danny Finance, so I can get the hours up. I want to get the hours. Yeah, exactly. Because I'm at that point now that I don't think I want it to be a full-time job anyway. I don't want the pressure. I don't want the added pressure to be like, oh my God, I have to yeah, it's not only streaming, it's just I don't want the pressure to be like I know other people get memberships. I know there's some people that get memberships and all that. I don't know, for some reason I don't get any of that. And I have to accept it. You know, I'm not gonna say here, you know, I went through that stage of why I'm not getting any members. You know, the price is as low as I can go. $2.99 to support the channel. And I don't talk about it enough because I did that in the beginning a couple of times. And, you know, right now to this day, I only have 2 members. I have Tasso, and thank you, Tasso. And I have another YouTuber. His name is Tanner. And he's never been on the live stream. He's just a member. He just supports my channel as a member. I don't know if he wants to remain silent, but that's, you know, if he gave me permission, I will put his link on my description. He's been a supporter here for over a year and a half. Over a year, excuse me, a year. I like Tasso. I think Tasso is almost a year and a half now, 15 months. So, you know, I thought I would have at least, you know, I was hoping I would have at least 10 by now. 10 reliable, you know, $2.99. You know, but it hasn't been the case. And is it disappointing? Yeah, it's disappointing. It is disappointing because I try to deliver. I try to always you know, I don't hold back. You know, people can ask me anything, and I try, you know, and I try to help them out or whatever, or answer a question, or if somebody in the chat can answer it. I try to entertain. I try to do all these things. There's a lot of channels out there that do a lot less than what I do, and they have members like crazy. So I don't know what it is. I have no idea what it is. I had to stop figuring it out because it was driving me crazy. So I decided I'm just gonna be me. I'm not gonna change anything, and that's it. And I'm looking for a job. I really want to start after the summertime. I want to start working, and this channel is gonna take a back seat in a way. And I want to say in a way, it might be in another way. It might be in other words, I don't want to put pressure on myself with that. That's what happened is I was kind of putting pressure on myself for a while. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that anymore. I really don't want to do that anymore because it's not healthy. It's not healthy to do that. And I don't want to wind up. I don't want to be a channel that comes on here and asks for donations. I don't want to do that. You know, I could do a live stream without a chat and let it roll. I could do that. And believe me, it'd be no sweat off my back. I tested that on Danny Finance. Live stream with no chat. I done it. But you know, there's channels out there like that Buzzer channel. He has I don't know how many subs. He has like 50,000 subs. I think he has like 50,000 subs, and all he does is play the buzzer. Always playing the buzzer. And the guy has 50,000 subs. I don't understand, you know. So I decided months ago, a year ago, whatever it was, that I'm not gonna make a living off of this, and I took a lot of heat for that. My wife, I took a lot of heat for that. She's my biggest critic. She'll say, "Oh, what happened, Mister 5,000 subscribers? I don't, are you getting any money?" I said, "No, very very little." And I said, "Well, everything costs money. When I have these radios on for hours, that's electricity bill, things like 100 watts. 100 watts. Every time I do the FTA, 100 watts, calling 100 watts. My utility bills are through the roof. So I had to agree with her. I said, you know what, honey, you're right. I said, I can't. This is not gonna be. I'm not gonna make a living off of this, even if it's 10 years from now. Because I see it already. Some people get members early. That hasn't happened yet. I don't know how long I have to wait, but it hasn't happened. You know, I may revamp it and say, you know what? Maybe I lowered it down to the lowest possible. I think the lowest possible membership is $1.99. But it's already low. It's at $2.99. I can't make it lower than that. And then the other tier is $5.99. I forgot what it is. Or $6. I have to check. Let me see. Let me put this over here for a minute. As a matter of fact, let me check. I'll tell you right now what it is. And I cannot make it lower than that. I mean, it is what it is, man. Let's see, membership. Let me see. Let me see what I'm at. Membership. Thank you, James Farley, for the super chat. Uh, let me go into my. Let me see what my plans are. I don't even want my. Let me see. It's to my channel. It doesn't show right there. I thought it would show on the screen. If I go to earn, let me see. What the hell is that at? Let me see. What the hell is that at? Let me see. It's probably right here. It doesn't show it. Oh, it's right here. Okay. So this pops up. Okay, so it's right here. So that's what it is. See? So when you go to join, it's right here. So you see, I have $2.99, right? Then I have the helping hand. And then so then this one, yeah, that's as low as I could go. $2.99. And then this one, so Tasso, and then Tanner is here. His name is Tanner. He's the only person in this whole channel that is a helping hand. Tanner. Yeah, and he's never been on the live stream. So wherever you are, Tanner, thank you very much. I really appreciate over the past year you sending me well, it's $6.99, but YouTube takes away 30%. So 30% of that goes to YouTube, and then the rest of the 70% goes to me. And then Tasso is, I believe Tasso is 15 months. He's a contributor. So there you go. So, and then that's the link. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna pin it on my. I'm gonna pin it anyway. What the hell? I'm gonna pin it anyway. Let me see if it works. Let me see. There you go. Yeah. So these are the members one. I did a few live streams for members. Not many, but you know, I may do more for members. Well, yeah, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, so I, you know, like I said, I'm coming to that conclusion, you know, that I'm just gonna be, you know, I'm gonna enjoy the summer, and then I'm gonna go. I kind of miss it in a way. I miss the commute into the city. I thought I was gonna say that, but I think the Metro North, you know, this time I'll take the Metro North. I'm not gonna be taking that bus. I'll take the Metro North, even though it's more expensive. It's $9 to go to Grand Central, so $18 a day. $18 a day commute. If I want to work in the city for the Metro North. But of course, if you get a monthly pass, it's actually cheaper if you get a monthly pass and all that. But still, $18 a day, basically. But you know, it's a much quieter ride, and rather than take the subway, I rather just take commuter train all the way to Grand Central, and then from there, whatever. Uh, you know, yeah, necessary because at some point you got to think about your time. You know. You know. That's why sometimes I don't blame him for when he says that. You know, people should contribute, but you know what? What he's doing wrong, he should have had his membership like set up. That way, his regulars can be members too. You know. But that's his channel, that's his business, whatever. Because I thought by now I would have members. Like I thought I would have double-digit members by now. You know, it's very disappointing. It is. So the only way I can really, you know, try to make some kind of money is through the ads. So that's why I'm going to incorporate my other channels in here. When I do a live stream here, I'm going to simulcast on my other channel too. Let that channel get up to monetization status, and then hopefully the ads on those channels can get it up to a point where you know, yeah, I'm being transparent, people. I'm being honest. I just went over $100 again this month. Finally, back to back $100 months. That's all I'm making. People think, yeah, I'm making no, $100. I made 118 last month. This June, I just made 103. So I went over the threshold. So on July 21st, I will get another payment of $103. That was for the month of June. You know, otherwise it takes me like 2 or 3 months to make the 100. You know, I'm freaking hustling. It's not, you know, it's not like you know, I'm not getting $1,000 a month. I wish I was getting $1,000 a month. I would have to go. I would have to go work right now and help out my wife. But my wife is putting up with a lot. She is. I have to say it. She is. You know. I feel bad. Sometimes I feel really bad. Sometimes I get really down. I get really depressed about it. You know, especially when she's sometimes she's not in a great mood. You know, sometimes I get the brunt of it. Sometimes I don't blame her. You know, I have a thick skin. You know, we're married. You know, we're partnership and all that. I understand. I understand when she rides and she, you know, not a lot. Listen, not a lot of wives will put up with a lot of stuff. We'll put up with all this. We're putting up antennas all over the house, antennas all over the house and all that. You know, she has the patience of a saint. You know, I keep saying it. The fact that I don't even get double digit, even thumbs up, double digit is shameful. 2 hours and 18 minutes, 2 hours 19 minutes. You know, it is what it is. That's why, you know, I gotta take my accolades. I gotta take my accolades. You know, I take my accolades and enjoy it because that's the only victories I get. I get here. I get. It's a nice recognition of that for my hard work. Because you know, unlike other channels, I don't have freaking 20 members on my. You know, some people got like 20 members on the top tier, 50, 20, 30 members on the other tier. They got multiple tiers of members. Me, I got one on one tier, one on another, and that's it. You know? I look at my numbers. Nobody shares my video. I'm surprised. Nobody shares my video. You know, I wish people shared my video more. Like, you know, whatever social media they have, just put my freaking live up there. Oh, by the way, I'm sub to this guy. Check out his live stream. You know, I wish I had more people that would share my videos. But, you know, I'm glad I got this honor. At least it validates my hard work. All the hard work I put into this channel. A lot of YouTubers told me that. Tom's radio show told me that. He said, I don't know how the hell you got the energy to do lives every so often for hours at a time. You know, especially when you do those marathon ones. You know, I enjoy what I enjoy, but you know, at some point it gets, you know, I hate to say it, unappreciated. You know, I hate to beat a dead horse, but you know, I remember when you know, 2 Hands on the Radio. I remember 2 Hands on the Radio. And he quit. I remember people saying, "Oh, I wish he was back. I wish he was back." You know, sometimes, you know, don't wait till people leave and then miss them. You know, think about what you have now. I mean, you know, if you go on the YouTube universe right now and look at how many people doing live streams right now, and go to those live streams and see how many people actually talk. Just even read your comment, engage with you. You know, believe me, I've been on some of those ham radio comments. I mean, live streams. You know, my channel is not about ham radio. It's about all radio. You know, it's about all radio. I cover everything here, all types of radio. And I've been to a lot of those live streams. They're boring. They're boring as hell. I try. Believe me, I try to participate in there. It's just you got a lot of people in there that are snobby people. I hate to say it, some of you, and you know who you are out there. All you ham radio operators out there that really are very snobby toward a new licensed ham. You know, you do a disservice to your hobby. Yeah, it's a hobby. Now people say, "Well, don't call it a hobby." It is a hobby. It's a hobby that can be life saving. Yeah, it is a hobby that can be life saving, but it's still a hobby. And you know, you do a disservice when you tell a young kid. Because when I read that Facebook post and people, all the comments I was reading, you know, FTA sucks. FTA is like watching paint dry. Let me go make a sandwich while my PC makes contacts. You're doing this. You're doing a disservice to your hobby because that's me. I got my license because of FTA. I didn't want to talk to people. I don't care about that. And then from FTA, I got into DMR and talking. And by the way, that's another one that people malign. Oh, that's not really ham radio because You're using over the internet. Hey, you're going over the internet. And then from that, I went into single sideband. And now I want to try CW. You see? You see people? So don't judge people. Don't judge people that they want to do FTA first. Maybe because they're like me. I'm shy talking over the radio. I don't like talking to strangers over radio. That's why to me ham radio is talking to a bunch of strangers and getting a 5.9. You go to a pile up and hopefully you get heard and there's a 5.9. And I read the comments about, oh, that's the biggest rush. You get a 5.9 comment. Well, my biggest rush is FTA. My signal gets heard in the North Pole. My signal gets heard in Vietnam. And I make a contact in Vietnam. All the way from here. All the way from Yonkers, New York, I make contact into Vietnam. Into Papua New Guinea. Antarctica. With 80 feet of wire and a $34 onion connected to this transceiver. That's a rush for me. So don't knock it. Don't knock FTA. Don't knock it. You do a disservice to people when you do that to your hobby. You're a disgrace. Because if I would have listened to people like you, I would have never got my license. I would have said, fuck this. I don't need this shit in my life. I don't need these fucking haters. These fucking dinosaurs. Because that's what most of you sound like, fucking dinosaurs. You got one foot in the grave already. But why? You know what's going to happen when you die off? The next generation is not going to give a fuck about this. It's not going to give a fuck because the way you treated them. You understand? They're not going to give a fuck. They're going to say, fuck the hobby, fuck the band, and sell off the band to some other private entity because of your fucking attitude toward new hams. All right? I got my license because I wanted to do FTA, and I got this rig. My wife got it for me. I got this rig, and I made a lot of contacts with it. I made thousands, a few thousand with this rig on FT8, 20 watts all around the world. And then that led me to do voice on DMR. Yes, digital radio over the internet. But you know what that did? That helped me. Doing DMR, that helped me brush up on my CQ codes. It gave me more confident. I don't want to talk about the radio now. Just don't want to talk about it. It gave me more confident. Because when you talk to other people, unlike, my hearing is not the best. I had to get used to that. So I had to learn the Q codes and all this stuff. Even though it's digital radio, I know there's no signal report 5.9. I get that, bro. But I started talking to people all around the world, and I said, wow, this is pretty cool. I started liking talking. you know, and I'm still not a long. I still don't rag chew, but I when I was talking to first time I did DMR, my first contact was a guy from Australia. My first DMR contact was a guy from Australia, and we spoke for like 10 minutes. He was very nice, and we spoke, and and I felt so comfortable, and that opened the door for single sideband. After making a few hundred of those DMR contacts, I was like, wow, pretty cool. Then I started, then I started trying single sideband. Of course, as a technician, I only could do 10 meters, so there's a limited openings. But I started making single sideband contact. You see how sometimes you got to go a different route. Like an introverted person like me, I had to start digital in terms of FT8, and then I went to DMR, and then finally single sideband, and now I'm going to try to do some CW. Not everybody wants to, right off the gate, wants to do single sideband. Oh, I'm a single sideband guy. And that's it. That's your cup of tea. That's fine, bro. If you're a one-trick pony, that's fine. Me, I like to do everything. By the way, I didn't come from the CB world. I didn't care about CB. I used to listen to it a little bit. I never cared for it. My friend was the one that was trying to get me into CB. Me, I didn't care for it. I just didn't care. I didn't want to, because again, I was into that. I was too shy to talk to people over the air. I just didn't care for it. You understand? So for me, what appealed to me to finally get my license was FT8. I like looking at the map. I'm more of a visual person. I like to look at a map and see that my thing like PSK reporter. I like to see where I'm heard. I like to see where my signal is being heard. Things like that. I'm more visual. Excuse me. So I'm more of a visual person. I like the aspect of looking at a map and having this call roster here and things like that. That's what appealed to me. Not there's a PC talking to another PC. I'm gonna go get a sandwich. No, you sound like a fucking moron when you say shit like that. You sound like a fucking idiot. All right? You gotta have an open mind. Not everybody wants to come on here and do single sideband and wind up sitting in a pile up just to be heard. None of us really give a fuck about that. Gonna say it. Like me, I don't give a fuck about that. Well, all you people out there piling on each other, especially these fucking field day thing. I don't give a fuck about all that. I don't care about that shit. I know that if it was an emergency, I can go on these radios and talk if I have to. I already have that. What I like doing is I like to see -24. I got hurt in freaking, Vietnam or South Pole, Antarctica. And the Vietnam was a contact. It was a contact. It was not even hurt. I made contact with them. They, acknowledgement, boom, 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 confirmed. All right, that's what I'm talking about. That's like CW, except using computers. That's more of a rush for me. Talking to the 500th person in Texas. I'm sorry. I could care less about that. Talking to the 600th person from Arizona on single sideband. Whoopee! Yippee! Yippee! Motherfucker! I don't care about that shit. You see what I'm saying? That don't give me a rush. You know? And that's what I try to show here. How these channels, they're too one-dimensional. They're too one-dimensional. I know on this channel, a couple of people can say it. I know on this channel, I encourage a few people to get their license. When I got my license, I encourage a few people, and I know one or two acknowledgement because of Danny, and he got the same radio, and he did FTA, and he's an introverted person like me, you know, and that's what it's all about. I encourage people. I don't discourage people, you know. James, I have to go check on my. Yeah, I'm not gonna be out too long anymore because I'm gonna start getting ready. It's 2:43. I'm gonna start cleaning out there, and I'm gonna start getting my grill ready. You know. Let me read some of the comments. You are the brick because you're there. Thank you. James, there are so many facets of ham. Yeah, exactly. There's many facets of ham radio and shortwave. There's many facets. Many. You know, I try to cover all that here. I cover SDR. I cover a lot of things here. I covered a lot of things here. You know, I cover loop antennas. When I started this channel, I didn't even know of a loop antenna. I was a skeptic when it came to loop antennas. And then when I bought my first loop antenna was this one, MJ. That changed everything. I was a loop guy for, you know, I still love loops, loop antennas, you know. So I'm also a big proponent of loop antennas. James, I started off with packet radio, and I'm very interested in that, and I haven't dabbled into that yet. At some point, I will dabble into that too, packet radio. I connected with Mir on packet, pretty cool, and voice on VHF, nice. TK11, I like it so far. Weather band reception right now is pretty good on this radio, even down here. I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna take this with me outside today. Just gonna put it on the weather band, and I'm gonna hear how it is outside. So I'm gonna take this outside with me later on and play around with it. I'm still getting used to the controls. I have not looked at the manual. I'm trying to figure it out without the manual. But I like it. I like this radio so far. It's very loud. It is a loud radio, very loud. I only had the volume halfway, and it was pretty loud. I haven't charged the battery yet since I received it. Excuse me. 3,000 milliamp hour battery. So far, the battery life is pretty good. I'm gonna play around with it today. I like it. I had a nice CB radio in the 70s, but I was shy. Yeah, I didn't have one, but my friend had one. He had a nice one. He started out like, you know, I think the first one that he had was a Uniden, a little small one. Then he finally bought a Cobra with single sideband. He was really into it, but I couldn't get into it at that time. So, James finally, my dad loved it because he was on React. We like what we like. That's it. Yeah, exactly. James finally, exactly. You make it easy for them because you encourage them without telling them. Yeah, you know, that's what I try to do. I try to encourage, you know, like I said, the story about my friend. You know, he's still my friend, even though he freaking used me. He's a, you know, but I think he retired. I think he already retired as a cop. Well, he used me. You know, I try to help people. I try to encourage people. You know, motivate people. I try to motivate people, whether it's through the hobby or even YouTube itself. Even YouTube, I had a couple of YouTubers that were like, you know, one of them got monetized. The other person I try to help out get monetized, the person don't listen to me. Well, there you go. Your channel will not grow. There's another YouTuber that he's still stuck at 100 subs for 10 years. I don't know how can that happen. I don't know how is that possible, but it is possible for some people. They're on YouTube all the time and they only got not even 200 subs. I'm like, what? I mean, you're really not. You're just existing. You're not even trying. So, you know, hey, I try to help people. I try to help people. Again, I try to help people. You know, some people just don't. You know, they don't want to help themselves. That's it. You cannot help somebody. By the way, I learned that too a long time ago. You cannot help people that don't want to help themselves. That's it. And I have a few of those. So I stopped doing that. You know. You know, I got to this number because I bust my ass. I work hard. I enjoy it, but I bust my ass. I put in the work. I put in the time in this channel. I spent the money. I spent the money. You know, all this shit costs a fortune. Over the years, all this shit costs a fortune. All this shit costs money. I have over 100 radios total. If you go to my blog, I have a list of all the radios that I own and antennas. It's on my blog. I have over 100 radios, I can say right now. Over 100 total. You know? That's my list right there. All the radios that I own. That's all my radios that I own. All right. Then of course my antennas, all the antennas I own or set up right here. Then I have a few pictures of the old. Well, I don't have that set up no more, but I have a few old pictures. I need to update that. When they were on the roof, I remember when I had the mini whip. Remember I had the mini whip. That was the mini whip. I still have that antenna. It's on a shelf now. Maybe one day I'll bring it back. You know. Of course, all my social media. I got radio related. I even have a shortwave audio archive. The guy I put his. You can listen to shortwave right here. Recordings and all that, live streams. Right here, you can listen to all that stuff. You want to get nostalgic? It's right here. All the audio is right here. You know, Radio Baghdad interval. So you can listen to it here. Radio Botswana. Radio Australia.
More news from Radio Australia. in 50 minutes from now. Hello, and welcome to Talkback. I'm Barry Clark. Well, Barry, it's certainly a great pleasure for me. I don't have to get a chance to talk.
See, I have all that. I have all this on my blog, you know. I have all this on my blog. Because all my contacts for my radio, amateur radio contacts, all here, you know. Here's why I got voted top 5, baby. You know. So you can listen to interval signals and everything. I have links to all those online SDRs. I have the all the links to the HF Underground. Everything is there. Everything is in one blog. HF Underground, Freon, Shortwave.info. All the links are there. You know, I have everything there. Not to mention, you know, all my videos and stuff like that. You know, so everything is there. I have everything there. I have everything pretty much there. Yeah. James Farr, last couple of mornings, I was getting Virginia on NOAA weather. Wow, that's nice. Cool. Yeah, I haven't been checking the weather weather channel. I should check that too. I'm gonna cook chicken. I have chicken thighs. I'm gonna grill. I have corn on the cob. Of course we have macro. It's like a macaroni. It's like a Greek salad. It's called macaroni. It's like a macaroni salad. We have that. I'm gonna make some burgers and French fries. I'm gonna start making that. Hot dogs for my son. Of course, French fries, seasoned French fries. Of course, we also have some chopped up watermelon in the refrigerator, things like that. So I'm gonna get ready in a few. I'm gonna start. So yeah, I'm waiting my son to work up his appetite, and then I'll start cooking. I have oysters. I have oysters I'm probably gonna grill some oysters too. I have shrimp. I'm gonna throw some shrimp in the barbie. Yeah, I use adobo. I have adobo. My wife seasoned it though. She seasoned the chicken last night, but she just made her own rub. She used different spices because she this more like Indian type. It's a little bit spicy, so I'm gonna put them in the grill. But I use adobo. I use when I use adobo. I use sazon also. Adobo, sazon. So 2 hours and 49 minutes. 8 people watching. So anyway, yeah, lemon pepper also. Yeah. So I'm gonna sign off now. I'm gonna definitely enjoy the rest of the day. I'm gonna have fireworks tonight for my son and my wife. Gonna have some fireworks. You know, say they're safe fireworks. They're not. They're legal. They're the ones you get from Walmart and stuff. So we're gonna have fun with that. So I'm gonna start getting ready. I'm gonna first I'm gonna clean outside a little bit. I got the food. The food is ready. I'm just gonna clean the grill real quick and then fire it up, and then I'll start cooking. and then relax. I'm gonna take my radio out there. I'm gonna take this one out there. I'm gonna take my where's my other? I'm gonna take my XS Data D608. Let me turn off this one. I'm gonna take my 608 out there, and I'm gonna just chill out and relax. And you guys enjoy your rest of the 4th of July. Be safe. Enjoy the weekend. And then I may be, I don't know. I'll see when I can do another live, whatever. Of course, Sunday is Anthony Cumia, so we'll see. And of course, just gonna chill out, enjoy. I got some beer too. I got some cold ones. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna take a walk to the store. I'm gonna get more cold ones, so I don't run out. So everybody have a great day. Enjoy the 4th of July. God bless America. And also, happy Canada Day. I know it just was a couple of days was Canada Day. And the rest of you, you know what? Have a great weekend. Take care, everybody. Have a good night. And have a good night. Love you all. Bye-bye.